Good evening. Welcome to the final and concluding session of this 2 days webinar. Welcome to all participants. Now we have Shanti Mantra.
शांति मंत्राः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ।
स्वदेश मंत्र। हे भारत, यह परानुवाद, परानुकरण, प्रमुख अपेक्षा, इन दासों की सी दुर्बलता, इस घृणित जघन निष्ठुरता से ही तुम बड़े बड़े अधिकार प्राप्त करोगे। क्या इसी लज्जास्पद कापुरुषता से तुम वीर भोग्या स्वाधीनता प्राप्त करोगे। हे भारत, मत भूलना कि तुम्हारी नारी जाति का आदर्श सीता, सावित्री और दमयंती है। मत भूलना कि तुम्हारे उपास्य सोमनाथ सदत्यागी शंकर है। मत भूलना कि तुम्हारा विवाह, धन और तुम्हारा जीवन इंद्रिय सुख के लिए, अपने व्यक्तिगत सुख के लिए नहीं है। मत भूलना कि तुम जन्म से ही माता के लिए बलि स्वरूप रखे गए हो। मत भूलना कि तुम्हारा समाज उस विराट महामाया की छाया मात्र है। मत भूलना कि नीच, अज्ञानी, दरिद्र, चमार और मेहतर तुम्हारे रक्त और तुम्हारे भाई हैं। हे वीर, साहस का अवलंबन करो, गर्व से बोलो कि मैं भारतवासी हूँ और प्रत्येक भारतवासी मेरा भाई है। तुम भी गर्व से कहो कि अज्ञानी भारतवासी, दरिद्र भारतवासी, ब्राह्मण भारतवासी, चंडाल भारतवासी सब मेरे भाई हैं। तुम भी कटिमात्र वस्त्रावृत होकर गर्व से पुकार कर कहो कि हे भारतवासी मेरे भाई हैं, भारतवासी मेरे प्राण हैं, भारत के सभी देवी देवता मेरे ईश्वर है, भारत का समाज मेरी शिशुशैया, मेरे यौवन का उपवन और मेरे वार्धक्य की वाराणसी है। भाई, बोलो कि भारत की मिट्टी मेरा स्वर्ग है, भारत के कल्याण में मेरा कल्याण है। और रात दिन कहते रहो कि हे गौरीनाथ, हे जगदम्बे, मुझे मनुष्यत्व दो। माँ, मेरी दुर्बलता और कापुरुषता दूर कर दो, मुझे मनुष्य बनाओ। Give and take is the law, and if India wants to raise herself once more, it is absolutely necessary that that she brings out her treasures and throws them broadcast among the nations of the earth, and in return be ready to receive what others have to give her. Expansion is life, contraction is death, love is life, and hatred is death. We commenced to die the day we began to hate other races, and nothing can prevent our death unless we come back to expansion, which is life. In this session, the topic to be discussed is Way to Rebuilding India by Revered Swami Nikhilasharananda ji, अध्यक्ष रामकृष्ण आश्रम, राजकोट, गुजरात। मैं स्वामी जी को आदरपूर्वक निवेदन करना चाहता। प्लीज स्वामी जी।
Om Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swami Netapaharine. All the respected dignitaries watching this program online, respected teachers, dear friends, I am extremely happy to be here this afternoon and sharing my ideas about rebuilding India. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Society Jamshedpur for organizing this two-day webinar on very important topic, Rebuild India through Indian culture. I'm sure for these 2 days, you must have had wonderful lectures and interaction. Now, this is the concluding session, and I have been given the topic, Way to Rebuilding India. Before I start, I'm reminded of an incident which happened at Porbandar on 12th January 2006. As you know, 12th January is being celebrated by our nation as National Youth Day, being the birthday of Swami Vivekananda. So we had invited Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the President of India at the time, to inaugurate Vivekananda Institute of Value, Education and Culture, and to talk to about 5,000 students who were waiting eagerly to listen to him. So Dr. Kalam first inaugurated the institute, and then in his speech he said that Swami Vivekananda is not only the leader of the great personality of our nation, but of the whole globe. And then he shared a letter of Jamshedji Tata addressed to Swami Vivekananda, because you are all mostly from Jamshedpur. So I thought I must share this incident in which Dr. Kalam referred to Jamshedji Tata. He said Jamshedji Tata was traveling with Swami Vivekananda in a ship from Japan to Chicago. Swamiji was going to participate in the World's Parliament of Religions in Chicago, and Jamshedji Tata was going for his industrial purpose. They met there in the ship and they had a lot of discussions. And Swami Vivekananda suggested him that instead of importing the items, we should manufacture them in our nation so that the people can get employment. And perhaps he also emphasized on the research part of the manufacturing industries. We can get this clue from the letter written by Jamshedji Tata to Swami Vivekananda. I would like to share that letter that was shared by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to the 5,000 students on that day, 12 January 2006, where Jamshedji Tata, in his letter dated 23rd November 1898, says, Dear Swami Vivekananda, I trust you remember me as a fellow traveler on your voyage from Japan to Chicago. I very much recall at this moment your views on the growth of the ascetic spirit in India and the duty not of destroying but of diverting it into useful channels. Then Jamshedji Tata says, I recall these ideas in connection with my scheme of Research Institute of Science for India, of which you have doubtless heard or read. It seems to me that no better use can be made of the ascetic spirit than the establishment of monasteries or residential halls for men dominated by the spirit, where they should live with ordinary decency and devote their lives to the cultivation of sciences, natural and humanistic. I am of opinion that if such a crusade in favor of an asceticism of this kind were undertaken by a competent leader, it would greatly help asceticism, science, and the good name of our common country. And I know not, Jamshedji Tata says, and I know not who would make a more fitting general of such a campaign than Vivekananda. Just note the words used by Jamshedji Tata. I know not who would make a more fitting general of such a campaign than Vivekananda. See the confidence that Jamshedji Tata had developed for Swami Vivekananda during a chance meeting in the ship. Do you think you would care to apply yourself to the mission of galvanizing into life our traditions in this respect? Perhaps you had better begin with a fiery pamphlet rousing our people in this matter. I should cheerfully defray all the expenses of publication. With kind regards, I am dear Swami, your faithfully, Jamshedji N. Tata, Esplanade House, Bombay, 23rd November 1898. After this, what happened we do not know, but it seems that Swami Vivekananda suggested the editor of Prabhupada Bharat to bring out a special news item about this research institute and to write this item, news item, that so far no better scheme has been framed for the good of our nation, and all the people should cooperate and should give their contribution for this great cause. This was published in Prabhupada Bharata, most probably because of the intervention of Swami Vivekananda. And secondly, he put Sister Nivedita on the job, and Sister Nivedita worked hard, and that is how the Indian Institute of Science came into being, and the land was also offered by Maharaja of Mysore, who was also a disciple of Swami Vivekananda. So, since you are all mostly from Jamshedpur, and since our Ramakrishna Mission Jamshedpur is organizing this program, I thought of sharing this letter of Jamshedji Tata addressed to Swami Vivekananda, which was shared by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the President of India, in a program organized by Ramakrishna Mission Porbandar. So what does it mean? Swami Vivekananda said, what we want is Western science coupled with Vedanta. Not only Vedanta, not only modern science, but modern science coupled with Vedanta, that will bring good, that will rebuild India. So the first formula, the way to rebuild India is to cultivate the sciences of all types for the good of humanity and for the good of the nation, but coupled with Vedanta, coupled with spirituality, not in a materialistic sense, not with a material with a materialistic outlook, but keeping the basic life force of our nation, which is religion or spirituality. Another very important formula that Swami Vivekananda has given for rebuild India is nation building through character building. Swami Vivekananda said, national building cannot take place without the character building of the citizens. I'm reminded of a story. There was a naughty boy, and his father was finding it very difficult to control the boy. And he would not sit down silently even for a minute. And one day it so happened that he had to do a lot of work. So he called the boy and he told, you see, I have a lot of work to do. So don't come to my room. And I'm giving you some work. Finish this work and then only you come to my room. Then he thought, what work I can give? And then later on, after long thinking, he took up a map of India, tore into pieces, small pieces, handed over to the boy, go to the next room and bring the whole map of India. So the boy went to the other room, and father thought, now it will take whole day for him because small pieces of India. Just imagine, where is UP, Uttar Pradesh, and where is South India, and where is Assam, and where is Gujarat, and where is Bihar, and where is Jamshedpur, and where is Rajkot. All those places, to combine all of them will take whole day. And so he was nicely doing his work. After 2 minutes, the boy came to his room. Hey, I told you, finish the work, then come. I have finished the work. Huh? Let me see. And he saw the whole map. The map was perfect. The map of India. And he was very much amazed. What is the matter? How did you do it? Then the boy said, Papa, this is very easy. What? To make India easy? You see, national unity is such a big problem. National integration is such a big problem. How did you solve this problem? How did you unite the whole country? How did you unite the whole India map? Then the boy said, you see, Papa, I took these small pieces and I was trying to make them into the map, but somehow or the other, it was difficult for me. They were very small pieces. So I started playing with those pieces. And while I was playing with the pieces, I found there was an image of a man, of a human being. So what I did was, I took all the pieces and prepared the man. Head, hands, feet, everything I put them and pasted them on the paper. And the man was perfect. And I found when the man was perfect and then I reversed it and I saw the whole map of India. The map of India is also perfect. So I have done nothing. I just made a man perfect and the map of India was perfect. So this is the message of Swami Vivekananda. Rebuilding of India is possible only by character building of the citizens. Make the man perfect and the whole India will become perfect. So this enlightened citizenship, this is the most important part of it. I recall my meeting with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam at Rashtrapati Bhavan on 2003. It was in 2003, 16 April 2003. So there were a lot of talks. In fact, I had gone there to hand him over a video that we had prepared based on the speech that he had delivered at Porbandar. At that time, he was not the President of India. He was just a Bharat Ratna, but we had invited him to inaugurate one of the 81 school buildings that Ramakrishna Mission had constructed as a part of earthquake rehabilitation project. As you know, 26 January 2001, there was a big earthquake. So he came to inaugurate one of the schools in Porbandar on 13th February 2002. And he had delivered a beautiful speech to about 3,000 youths that day. So we had prepared a video of that. So after 4 months of that function, he became the President of India, Rashtrapati. So I thought now, before that, we had, of course, traveled together by flight and by car and all that. But now I thought that he has become President of India, I should not disturb him. But just because I had gone to Delhi, I just gave a message, I have come here to Delhi and I would like to meet you and hand over this video. And he very readily agreed. Instead of 5 minutes, he gave me 15 minutes and we had a lot of talks. During the talks, I said, you see, Dr. Kalam, I'm very happy that you are trying to make India a developed country by 2020. It is already 2022, which has not, it has still not become a developed country, but it has gone a long way. So Dr. Kalam has written a book, as you know, India 2020, Vision of the New Millennium. So I said, I'm very happy that you want to make India a developed country by 2020. And you are working very hard. We are also working very hard, but we are working on our own way. But I tell you one thing. We, the monks of Ramakrishna Mission and the devotees, we are trying to implement the idea of Swami Vivekananda of making India a great country in our own way. And you are also trying in your own. But I can tell you one thing, even if you bring the wealth of the whole World Bank and put them into the 5-year plans, well, the GDP growth will be there, but the India's poverty will remain the same. The poor people will remain poor. Then he became excited. Why, Swamiji, you are telling this? Why? I said, for the simple reason, a former Prime Minister of India had said, if you put 1 rupee into the 5-year plan, only 15 paisa comes to the grassroots level farmer. I am afraid even if 15 paisa is coming or not nowadays. I told him point blank, I am afraid even if 15 paisa is coming or not, rampant corruption in the country today. And then he became a little more serious. He said, yes, Swamiji, what you say is true. Corruption is very rampant. What is the solution, Swamiji? What is the solution, he asked. I said, only one solution. What we should have done on 15th August 1947, we should do it now. What is that? Swami Vivekananda said, education alone is the panacea of all our evils. But what type of education? Not the type of education that is being given today. What Swami Vivekananda wanted, he said, what we want is man-making education, character-building education, not demon-making education, man-making education, character-building education. This is what he wanted. This is the need of the hour. Then I said, we have hundreds of education institutions where thousands of students are studying, and everywhere we are trying to give this value-oriented education. Not only that, we have few institutions. Though we don't have our own schools and colleges, we are trying to provide this value-oriented education to the other schools and colleges. By seminars, symposiums, regular classes, value education classes and all that. And so we have dedicated institutions for that. Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, Hyderabad, Ramakrishna Institute of Moral and Spiritual Education, Rimsi and Mysore and all that. And now we want to start Vivekananda Institute of Value Education Culture in Porbandar. And we want that you should inaugurate it. Dr. Kalam said, yes, Swamiji, I'll come. He very happily agreed. And as I told you, he came. Really, he kept up his promise. On 12 January 2006, on Swami Vivekananda's birthday, National Youth Day Celebration Day, he came, inaugurated Vivekananda Institute of Value Education Culture and addressed 5,000 youths. And I told you, it is that time that he read out the letter of Jamshedpur Tata addressed to Swami Vivekananda. And after his speech, there was question answer session. So one boy stood up and said, sir, Operation Duryodhan, Operation Chakravyuh and other operations have revealed the tip of the iceberg, that is rampant corruption in the country today. As the President of India, how do you feel about it? And where do you think lies the solution? So Dr. Kalam stood up and then he said, you see, the parliament has already taken some action on those MPs. And then he took up a book of Swami Vivekananda and read out a passage from the book of Swami Vivekananda, in which Swami Vivekananda says, no number of parliament acts can make a nation good, can make a nation great. No number of parliament acts can make a nation good, can make a nation great. Then what can make a nation good and what can make a nation great? Then again he read out, only a large number of good enlightened citizens, good people can make a nation good, can make a nation great. And then he said, he added, and the government cannot produce good people. Then who can do it? He said only 3 persons can do it. Who are the 3? Father, mother, and the teacher. These are the 3 persons who can produce good people. So value education in the family and value education in the educational institutions. Both are necessary. And here we must remember, values are never taught. Values are always caught. If the parents say that you should not watch TV, it will not make an impression. But if the parents reduce their seeing TV, watching TV, automatically the children will follow. So values are always caught and never taught. Same thing, if the teacher says something, but if they express that in their action, it will have much more impact. We know that. So that is why Swami Vivekananda said, gave the formula, that golden formula, be and make. First you become great, make others great. First you build your own character, then build the character of others. So this is the very important message for the teachers and for the parents when we are talking about value education, which is a must if we really want to rebuild India. One of the most important point is education. And in education, there are various types, various points to be noted. One is, of course, the education of the masses, where at present even a lot of people in our nation are illiterate. And mind you, literacy is not education. Literacy is the first step of education. In fact, sometimes we find that more educated people are more prone to higher types of corruption. They can do better corruption because they are highly educated. So literacy is only the first step. And education of other topics, of various topics, need not be coupled with making them better human beings. So it is here that the importance of value education comes. And so one thing is character building education. Second is education to the masses. And when we are talking about education to the masses, Swami Vivekananda gave a golden formula. If the mountain cannot come to Muhammad, let Muhammad come to mountain. He wrote a letter from America to Diwan of Junagadh, Haridas Viharidas Desai, who was very close to him. He said, Diwanji, the wealth of the whole world, the wealth of the whole world is not enough to develop one single village unless people are taught to help themselves. So education is the crux of the whole thing. But Diwanji, even if you start schools in all the villages, the children will not come to the schools. He gave that reason, that cause, which is really the reality now we are facing. Because of economic reasons, the poor children will better go with their plow to help their parents rather than go to the schools. What is the solution then? Let education go to the children. If the children cannot come to school, schools should go to the children. Non-formal education is the only reply when we are talking about mass education. Universalization of primary education has not yet come, though it is a part of our constitution. Why? Because we did not listen to the advice of Swami Vivekananda of rebuilding India, that education should be given topmost priority. And when we are talking about education of the masses, if mountain cannot come to Muhammad, let Muhammad go to mountain. Let education go in a non-formal manner to these children who are economically preoccupied. Of course, now the government has brought out many new schemes where the non-formal education is given importance as far as literacy education is concerned and universalization of primary education is concerned. And the new education policy is trying to give more importance. And let us hope that if it is implemented, now implement is very important. Before that also there were so many Kothari Commission and Radhakrishnan Commission and so many commissions. They had all suggested value education. They had suggested to include spiritual education, but somehow that it was not implemented.
I am Geeta. Good evening to all.
So now the new education policy is giving importance to character building education, spiritual education. Let us hope that it is implemented. Third thing, education of the masses, education, character building education. Third thing is education which makes you self-reliant. This is also important. Now, the education should make you self-reliant, and it should enable you to stand on your own legs rather than searching for job. Now, many students ask me this question: unemployment is a big problem. Poverty is a big problem for which the solution is education. But when after giving education, the problem is unemployment. So what is the solution of unemployment? The solution is self-employment. There are so many startup schemes now has come. Atmanirbhar Bharat, that formula has been given. So Swami Vivekananda always insisted on, gave so much emphasis on becoming Atmanirbhar. You must stand on your own legs, have confidence, and depend on yourself rather than searching for a job or rather than begging for a job. Have your own startup. Self-employment is the best employment and is the only solution for unemployment. So, since you are in Jamshedpur, I would like to share that I was for 10 years in Ranchi, and that time I used to go to Jamshedpur frequently, but now I am far away. So my tour to Jamshedpur have been reduced. My visits to Jamshedpur have been reduced. But when I was in Ranchi, I used to go very frequently. So Ranchi, there is we have a very nice tribal and rural development project called Divyayan Krishi Vigyan Kendra. If you go to Ranchi, you must visit this center, Divyayan Krishi Vigyan Kendra. We are making these tribal youths self-reliant. We tell them, if you want a job, don't come here. If you want to give jobs to others, then come here. And they are giving jobs to others. They are given training, first motivational training of 6 weeks, followed by special training in dairy, in horticulture, agriculture, animal husbandry, agronomy, and all these various types, carpentry and pump repair and all that. And later on, they go back to villages and start doing all these things. And beekeeping, they are employing others and they are helping others to become self-reliant. So you must visit that Divyayan Krishi Vigyan Kendra, which is an experiment on self-reliance, which was emphasized by Swami Vivekananda in his education policy. So Swami Vivekananda told again and again, national lives in cottages. Even today also, we have a lot of population living in the rural area. Of course, now the gap is reducing. During Swami Vivekananda time, 80% people used to live, 80 to 90% people used to live in villages. Now, the people are becoming more and more urbanized and going to more and more to urban. And that is why Dr. Kalam emphasized on Pura scheme. That is providing urban facilities to the rural people so that the rural people do not have to go to urban people. Urban facilities come to the rural people. Whatever it is, that scheme is going on, Pura. But at present, even at present also, um, about 40% people are living in the villages. So this rural development and tribal development is a very important subject where we must remember Swamiji's formula that try not to develop these villages. If you do so, you will fail. And I've seen with my own eyes. I've seen with my own eyes. When I was in Ranchi, there was a village, I will not give the name of the village. There was a village where a World Bank scheme came of crores of rupees. And after 2 years, the scheme was there for 2 years or 3 years. And after that, the scheme was meant only for that period. Ultimately, what was the result? Crores of rupees were spent in that village in the name of rural development. What happened ultimately? The village did not develop. Only two persons got development. One was the wine shop, which was in a hut, got a big building. He earned so much money, the person who was selling wine, and another person who had a shop in a small hut and became a very big building. These two persons became developed. Rest all, because they were not given proper education. They were not taught to help themselves. So Swami Vivekananda says, when we are talking about rural development, tribal development, we must remember the formula. The wealth of the whole world, here it was World Bank, really World Bank, the wealth of the whole world is not enough to develop one single village if the people are not taught to help themselves. This I saw, I have experienced this myself. So, what a visionary Swami Vivekananda was. 125 years back, he gave all these formulas for rebuilding India, which are so very important. Another thing, he said, a bird cannot fly with only one wing. It requires two wings. So a nation cannot develop without the development of the women. So he emphasized, as back as that 125 years ago, he told women development is a must if we want to have national development. If we want to rebuild India, we must have women empowerment and development. And that will come through women education, proper type of women education, and also women empowerment, first economic empowerment, social empowerment, most importantly, spiritual empowerment. Now, at present, as on today, what is happening that women empowerment is being done, women development is being done, but the spiritual element is lacking, and that is why women are suffering. Still, they are at the receiving end because they have not been given the spiritual training about which Swami Vivekananda said that empowerment should start with the spiritual empowerment. And that is lacking. And that is why, though women have come forward, they are earning a lot of money, but they are not having happiness. And many of them are coming, and some of them committing suicide to that extent. To that extent, they are unhappy. Why is this happening? Because the spiritual element is lacking. So the spirituality should be an inbuilt part of education system. Then this women empowerment and development will help the national development. This is how we can rebuild India. Then Swami Vivekananda says, national ideals of India, renunciation, service. Intensify her in these two channels and the rest will take care of itself. He said this, and really if you go to the history of India, these are the two great ideas, renunciation and service. Now, both the ideas are missing in so-called social reformers, in so-called social workers. In fact, one of our Swamiji laughingly asked, do you know who is a social worker? One who works less and demands more pay. They are interested more in pay and package rather than giving service to the human beings who are suffering. So renunciation and service. These are the two ideas. Intensify her in these two channels and the rest will take care of itself. One of the most important points emphasized by Swami Vivekananda once again and again in his lecture from Colombo to Almora, when Swami Vivekananda returned from the West after delivering his historic speech in the Parliament of World's Religions, and he was so popular that he had to remain there for a few more years, 3.5 years. Then in January 1897, when he came, he was given a warm reception like which is given to the world conquerors. And in reply, he gave speeches, very fiery speeches, and all they were compiled into the book Lectures from Colombo to Almora. So there you find again and again he's telling the keynote of India is religion. The life force of India is religion. So intensify in this religion, spirituality. And if you give up this religion, give up this spirituality, India will get vanished. Because this is the foundation on which the whole country is standing. Then he also said about this caste problem. Today we are having this reservation problem, anti-reservation policy, reservation policy, all these things going on. Swami Vivekananda gave the solution to this problem. He said, we have the solution not by bringing down the higher, but by raising the lower up to the level of the higher. What a wonderful thing. But now reverse thing is happening. Now all people want to become tribe. I want to become a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or in the reserved category or the backward community. Even Brahmins are giving bribe to become lower caste. Reverse thing happening. What Swami Vivekananda says is leveling up. Now it is going leveling down. All are trying to become the lower caste so that they can get the benefit of the reservation policy. The Swami Vivekananda said, of course, he was against privileges. And he said, underprivileged people should be given more importance. But the solution lies in leveling up. Let the lower people be given so much higher, so much nice education that they become, they get up in the ladder. So the lower caste will become like Brahmins because of their education. This is what he wanted. And then he said, the old religion said, so far you have heard the mantras. What are the mantras? Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. I am giving you additional mantras which are very important for our nation today. What is that? Daridra Devo Bhava, Rogi Devo Bhava. Worship the God who is present in the poor. Worship the God who is present in the sick person. And that is why he started Ramakrishna Mission to have a demonstration model. Shiva Gyana Jeev Seva. Worship our God in human beings. Yes, of course we should worship God in the temples, in churches and mosques. No problem. But here is a living God, he said. Fools, you are trying to dig a well by the side of the Ganges. Here is the big river going on. And you want to dig a well there. Here is the living God. There in that God, you have to have Pran Pratishtha. There is Pran Pratishtha in that living being. There is a Pran there. It's a living force. A living human being. You are not worshipping. You are not serving. Here is a man who is hungry. You are not giving chapati to him. And you are trying to give 56 types of items to the Lord there in the temple. There is no harm in worshipping that God. But you must also worship. The priority should be given to God who is coming to you in the form of the poor, in the form of the sick, in the form of the distressed, in the form of the sufferer. So let this be your gods. Shiva Gyana Jeev Seva. Worship of the God in human beings. That is, he said, for our nation. And then his mantra is to the youngsters particularly, love India. Once Miss MacLeod asked Swami Vivekananda, Swami, how can I serve you? And then Swami Vivekananda said, he did not say, you bring a beautiful cake for me. He did not say, bring beautiful clothes for me. No. What did he say? He said, he told American disciple, Miss MacLeod, love India. This is the greatest service you can do to me. And if today the students like you would ask Swami Vivekananda, how can we serve you, Swamiji? Swamiji will give reply, this, love India. When the love towards India comes, everything will follow. Just imagine, if an engineer, an executive engineer loves India, will he take a bribe for creating a dam which will be with full of only sand and no cement? Taking the bribe, will he be able to take the bribe? for the nation? If he loves the nation, if a minister loves the nation, will he go for corruption? If an IAS officer, IPS officer, or other officers, will they do corruption if they love the nation? Will a student copy in the examination if he or she loves the nation? Will a teacher go more for trying to ask for the privileges rather than teaching the children if he or she loves the nation? Once the love towards the nation comes, everything else will follow. Because we do not love our country, we do not love our motherland, because we don't love. And what he meant by loving the nation? Loving the nation means loving only the geographical limits. It is not limited to that. Loving India means loving the people of India, loving the poor people of India, serving the poor people of India, serving the underprivileged people of India. This is all a part of love India. And when that love comes, and then everything else will follow. So Swami, let us conclude with the important message of Swami Vivekananda. What is that message? Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Do you know this message he gave in 1897? And he predicted that within 50 years, India shall become independent. And exactly after 50 years, 1947, India became independent. And he also had told India will become independent under unforeseen circumstances, without waging a war. It really so happened. But after independence, what happened? After independence, we forgot the message of Swami Vivekananda of loving our country. That time, all those people, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Chakravarti Rajgopalacharya, Sri Aurobindo, Sister Nivi, all of them were surcharged with the ideas, with the patriotic ideas of Swami Vivekananda. Mahatma Gandhi said that the love for my country became 1,000-fold after I read the books of Swami Vivekananda. Rabindranath Tagore wrote to Roma Rolla. Rabindranath Tagore, a Nobel laureate, he had received prize in literature, Nobel Prize, and Roma Rolla received the Nobel Prize also in literature. One Nobel laureate writing another Nobel laureate. What did he say? If you want to know India, study Vivekananda. In him, everything is positive and nothing negative. And when Roma Rolla read the books of Swami Vivekananda, he was so much charmed that he wrote the biography of Swami Vivekananda. And there he said, his words are great music, phrases in the style of Beethoven. I cannot touch these sayings of his scattered as they are to the pages at a 30th distance without saying a thrill through my body like an electric shock. Even today, we get that electric shock when we read the books of Swami Vivekananda, because Swami Vivekananda himself, his spirit is there in these books. So I will tell all the youngsters today, in conclusion, read the books of Swami Vivekananda. That is the best way we can, because Mahatma Gandhi says, after reading the books of Swami Vivekananda, the love that I had for my country became 1,000-fold. And a student of 9th standard studying in Cuttack read a book of Swami Vivekananda, and he said, I will sacrifice my whole life for the sake of the nation. And he became Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So all of the patriots of that time received their inspiration from the books of Swami Vivekananda, developed that love for the country. Today, if we want to rebuild India, our youngsters must be imbued with the idea of patriotism, with love for the nation. And that will come, the best way is by reading the books of Swami Vivekananda. So I will request all the students, please read the books of Swami Vivekananda and get that love for the nation. And once the love for the nation comes, everything else will follow. Character building will follow. Other things will follow. And character building will lead to national building. And Swami Vivekananda's message, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. After the independence, we became lazy. We gave up our love for the nation. No, we have to still continue, because the goal was not the independence of India. Swami Vivekananda wanted independence of India. He said freedom is the condition, first condition of growth, but he did not say it is the goal of life. Then what was the goal of life? Swami Vivekananda said, what was the goal of the nation? Swami Vivekananda said in his lecture, Colombo Tolmar, if you find his lecture in 1897 in Madras, he said, up India and conquer the whole world by your spirituality. India shall conquer the world by its spiritual culture, by its spirituality. That is the goal that Swamiji has given. This goal is not yet fulfilled. We have to become Jagat Guru, but India can become Jagat Guru only once, first of all, it becomes a developed country, and for that we will all have to work hard. And if we read the books of Swami Vivekananda, try to implement them, try to develop our total personality, physical, mental, intellectual, moral, and spiritual, then we will find that once we build our character, the national building will follow. So I pray at the feet of Swami Vivekananda, may he shower his blessings on all of us. May we be able to build our character, and thereby we can rebuild the nation, rebuild our motherland, India, as per his ideas, and we will be able to become instruments of fulfilling the dream of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda said, India will become so great that its past glory will fade into insignificance. We are now waiting for that day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pujaniya Maharaj Ji. And that was a beautiful insight into a way to rebuilding India by Pujaniya Maharaj Ji. And all the participants are requested to share if there is any question in the chat box, and Maharaj Ji is there. We will reply. One question is, Maharaj Ji.
Yeah.
I'm read it out. Amit Kumar Shah.
Yeah.
On the topic of brahmacharya. If a person in great need of brahmacharya for internal satisfaction is not capable to perform or is not achieving benefits as the result of this penance should be, then what will happen to the person in distant future?
Well, if somebody is trying, today or tomorrow, you will get the result. There is no doubt about it, because the law of karma is supreme in the mental world, is law of gravitation is supreme in the physical world. So if you are trying, you will get the result, but it takes a long time. It will not come in a day. You have to go on trying, and you have to go on trying in a scientific manner. So I would request you to read a book by Swami Yatishwaranand Ji, Meditation and Spiritual Life, where there are chapters on how to observe brahmacharya. Please go through that, follow these things systematically, and you will get the result today or tomorrow. Surely you will get the result, and nothing bad will happen to you. If you are doing a good work, nothing bad will happen to you, can ever happen to you.
Amit Ji, I am sure you have got your answer from Pujaniya Maharaj Ji. Any more answer, please? Any more question, please?
I would request the students to read the book Rebuild India, small book. And there's another book, My India, the India Eternal. Of course, the best book is Lectures from Colombo to Almora. If you really want, that is a little bigger book. And that is also a part of the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, which are available, which can be downloaded free of cost from internet. If you go through these lectures from Colombo to Almora, and the gist is given in My India, the India Eternal, and even the small quotes are given in Rebuild India. If you go through these books, then you will be able to know better. I have just given just a trailer I have given. I have given the over periphery only. But Swamiji's ideas are spread in his letters and his lectures from Colombo to Almora. Please read these two books, Lectures from Colombo to Almora and Letters of Swami Vivekananda. Then you will get much better ideas of rebuilding India.
Okay. Maharaj Ji, one more question has come. Difference between character, personality and reputation.
Yeah, very nice question. You see, personality is connected with reputation, but character is not only the outside reputation, is the inner reputation. So character is something bigger. Personality is an external thing. If you see somebody's personality, it is an external personality. But unless until character is there, that external personality will give reputation from outside, but will not get reputation from inside. So personality gives you reputation, but character gives you inner reputation, and it gives you the real benefit. It gives you long-term happiness, long-term success, and long-term peace. If you have read the book by Stephen Covey, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, he has in his first chapter given the very important, very elaborate way. He has differentiated between personality ethics and character ethics. He said, I went through the literature on self-development for last 200 years. What I find that last 50 years, there has been a great paradigm shift. First 150 years, all the books on self-development were dealing with character building. That is, how to have self-confidence, how to have self-control, and how to have spirituality and all that. Whereas the last 50 years, they are going for personality ethics. That is, how to appear nice, what type of hairstyle, what type of dresses, what type of manners and communication skills. So the self-development books of last 50 years, we are giving more emphasis on the external personality. But the earlier ones, they were giving more emphasis on the inner personality. So we should have both external personality development, inner personality development. That means physical development of the personality, intellectual development of the personality, mental development of the personality, moral development of the personality, and most important, spiritual development of the personality. That will mean character building as well as personality development.
Pujaniya Maharaj Ji, another question has come here. How to build up character?
Yeah, this is a very good question. So how to build character, you must understand what is character. Character is nothing but an aggregate of samskaras. Now these samskaras, they are related to four types of forces. Samskaras, they are the impressions. Samskaras means impressions. The impressions that is given there, that is there in our subconscious mind. These come from four forces. Number one, they come from the previous birth over which you do not have any control. Second, they come from the parents, either genetically or from their behavior pattern. Third, they come from the environment. It all depends whether you're living in Jamshedpur, there will be some type of samskara. When you stay in New York, there will be another type of samskara. If you watch particular type of programs on TV, there will be one type of samskara. If you watch other programs, then there will be different type of samskaras. So samskara depend on the environment, external environment. And the fourth most important thing is teachers, educational institution. The samskaras received from teachers, and that is why we have parents meeting so that the samskaras given by the parents to the children, they become better. We have program for the teachers, how to become a better teacher. Teachers are torch bearers of change. They can bring about paradigm shift in the character of the children, and they can become enlightened citizens if the teachers they take interest in not only communicating their subject but also in inculcating good values. How? By practicing the values themselves, because be and make, that was given by Swami Vivekananda. So these are the four factors on which, so a student who wants to have character building should have proper environment, should follow a fixed routine, and should try to avoid all those things which spoil his mind. Reading good books, prayer, meditation, physical exercise, yoga, and regular habits, and avoiding bad company, having good company of friends, and trying to analyze introspect every night as to what are the good actions he has done. If a student, he does these things, gradually his character will be built.
Pujaniya Maharaj Ji, another question has come. What is appropriate meaning of Nishkama karma?
Okay. Nishkam karma is doing the action without expecting the result. That is called Nishkam karma. This is Bhagavad Gita. Karmani avadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karmapal heturvu mate sangostva akarmani. This is what Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Karmani avadikaraste. Arjun, you have got the rights to the action. You can do action. Karmani avadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Over fruit, you do not have any control. You find out, because a fruit of an action or the result of an action does not come, you will find, you yourself will find out. Sometimes you do good action, but you do not get good result immediately. But Arjuna, Sri Krishna says, your attention should not be on the result. Why? Because the law of karma is supreme. It will come. Today or tomorrow, it will come. But your attention should not be on that. Your attention should be trying to do the work perfectly. And if you try to think about the result, then your attention will be diverted. So give 100% focus, your mind 100% on the work. Do your duty, 100% giving attention. Karmani vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karmafal heturvu. You should not be always thinking and worried about the result. But that does not mean that you should give up the action, because if you do not do action, result will not follow. But your attention should not be on the result. I'll give you a simple example. A student, he was studying and he failed 3 times in the 12th class. So now his father told, now enough. If next time if you fail, then we don't have to study. Now you should not, you will not have to go to further study. You join my business, no more study for you. This time if you fail, you are not going to go for higher education, mind you. This is the last chance. So now the boy, he started studying. While studying, he is not studying. What is he doing? What will be the result of my study? Will I fail or pass? Then again after a few pages, oh my God, if I fail, what will happen? Again after a few pages, oh my God, if I fail, then I will put into business. Then I cannot go to college. After a few pages, oh my God, then if I don't go to colleges, then I will miss all the charm of the college life. Again few pages, oh, then I will be married to a girl who will be illiterate. Oh, if I get an illiterate wife, then I will have to commit suicide. Okay, after a few days, okay, if I have to commit suicide, how should I commit suicide? By hanging or by taking poison? Oh, no, poison. Then how to get poison? All these things he is thinking when studying. Will he pass or fail? Surely he will fail, because he is not studying. He is thinking about the result. Reverse way, a boy was very brilliant. He got very good marks. Then his father told, if you get very good marks in 12th, then I'll send you to America for higher education. Now this boy is studying. Again, after a few days, oh, my father has told, what will be the result? Oh, if the result is good, then I'll go to America. After a few days, okay, I go to America. Where will I go? I should go to my maternal uncle or my uncle? No, I should not go to any of them, because then I will be not having freedom. Okay, after a few days, okay. Then which university I should go? Suppose after a few pages of supposing if they do not give this study, all these things he is thinking when studying, surely he is going to fail. So that is why Sri Krishna says, when you are doing some work, you give your attention on work. Does not mean, he doesn't say that you will not get the result. You will get better result. If you don't think about the result, you will get better result. Why? Because your concentration, your focusing of the mind is on the action rather than the result. So that is Nishkama karma. Nishkama karma does not mean that you will not get salary. You just go on working and no salary. No. Some people, they misunderstand. Oh, Sri Krishna, what is the foolish thing he is telling? You go on working, you will not get salary. Go on working for examination, you will not get the result. No, no, no. He is telling you will get better result if you have Nishkam karma. Not only that, another thing happens. Supposing if you are working with Nishkam karma, if you are doing without worrying about the result, if you do some action, if you are working hard, and if you do not get proper result, you will not become disappointed. You will get some disappointment, but you will not break down. Why? Because you are never thinking about the result. You are always engaged in work. At the same time, if you get a good result, you will not become egoistic. Your ego will not be puffed up because you are always worried about how to do better work rather than the result. So that is why Nishkam karma is very, very much necessary.
Pujaniya Maharajji, the next question is, I think in Upanishads it is said that questioning and doubting is good thing, but in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Sanshayatman vinashyate. Why does Krishna say that? That's the question, Maharaj.
Yeah, very nice question. You see, in our scriptures, in our ancient tradition, Indian tradition, always questioning has been given very high regard. Unless until you question, unless you critically examination. In India, the spirituality is not connected with following blindly. Nothing is blindly you should follow. That is not encouraged. You must question. You must understand. You see, Narendra Dutt, he was a college student, Scottish Church College. He used to question his professors. He used to question everybody. He used to question any religious leader. And he will ask, oh, you are talking too much about religion, too much of God. Have you got any documentary evidence? I am a son of a lawyer. I believe in documentary evidence. Have you got any documentary evidence? Have you got any proof? You are saying God, God, God. Nobody could give. Have you seen God? Nobody could reply. Ultimately, Sri Ramakrishna said, yes, I have seen God. One day he had gone to Scottish Church College, and that day the professor of English literature was absent. So the principal William Hastie himself came to take up the class of English literature, and then he was teaching them the poem of Wordsworth, that is Excursion. The name of the poem is Excursion by Wordsworth, William Wordsworth. And in that poem, there is a description how the poet goes into a trance, into a superconscious state by undergoing this, by seeing this natural beauty. And the students ask, sir, is it possible that somebody goes to a trance in a superconscious state, samadhi state? Then Principal William has to say, yes, I know one person who goes into trance, into the samadhi state very frequently. If you want, you can see that person because he lives in Calcutta only. There is a temple of Dakshineshwar. There Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa lives. He gets into these trances, into the samadhi state very frequently. And then Narendranath comes here. Later on, he became Swami Vivekananda. But that time he was Narendranath Dutt, a college student. And he asked the same question that he used to ask everybody. Sir, have you seen God? And for the first time he received its satisfactory reply. Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, my boy, I have seen God. Then he said, I am seeing him more intensely than I am seeing him. And then he said, if you want, you also can see him, but you have to follow the spiritual practices. This is the science of religion. Science says H2 plus O2 is equal to H2O. Hydrogen, oxygen gas will get water. What? I don't believe. Hydrogen is a gas, oxygen is a gas. How can it get water? It's not a question of belief. Come to the laboratory, have hydrolytic process. And if you don't get water, then you say, I don't believe. It's not a question of belief. Experiment. So Sri Ramakrishna says, come to the laboratory. Experiment, make spiritual practices, and then if you don't get the realization, then you tell, I don't believe in God. And then Narendranath accepted the challenge, and then he also got into a samadhi state, Nirvikal Samadhi he got at Kashipur, and because he had realized God face to face, that's why on the basis of his own realization, he could declare in the World Parliament Religions, the shloka of the Shweta Upanishad, Shunvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra Aye Dhamani Divyani Tastu Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat Tameva Viditva Timritimeti Nanya Pantha Viditayanaya. I have found the ancient one who is beyond all business. He said from his own experimentally verified truth. So this is the tradition of Indian spiritual culture, where we give, when we encourage the students to ask questions. Here also, whenever I go for youth convention, I say more time should be given for question answer session, because then you clear your doubts, then you get convinced, and then you only can follow. I am very happy this question has come. Now coming to the main point, the question is, why Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Sanshayatma Vinashyati. Now this Sanshayatma is not related to this question. Jigyasa and Sanshay, these two are different things. Jigyasa is eagerness to know about something, and you ask questions. Jigyasa is very good. But here what he was saying, it is a different context, that when you have got doubt, there is, doubting Thomas. If you become a doubting Thomas, doubting each and everything without any reason, then you become Sanshayatma Vinashyati. So these two things should be clearly understood. Questioning is very important, but foolish questioning is not encouraged. Don't be a foolish doubting Thomas. When certain thing is there, you go, you have got brain, apply your brain, be rationalistic, don't be a fool and go on doubting foolishly. That is been discouraged. But questioning is encouraged.
Pujaniya Maharaj Ji, two more questions are there, although it is not in the chat box. So shall I read it out?
Yes, sure.
Thanks. First question is, how can we inspire politics towards true welfare with the ideals of renunciation and service without joining active politics? Maharaj Ji, please.
A very peculiar question. If you don't want to join politics, then why do you want to be in politics anyway? So what I am saying is that we should, for example, Ramakrishna Mission refrains from politics. At the same time, we are doing service to humanity. So give more emphasis to service to humanity, and the other things will follow. You see, other awards will follow, other recognition, reputation will follow. But our attention should not be on that. Our attention should not be on politics. Politics should follow you, and you should not follow politics. So you try to serve the society. As I told you, Swami Vivekananda said, renunciation, service, these are the twin ideas, and both are connected. Unless until you renounce, you cannot serve others. You must renounce your wish to become a politician in a different way, I am saying. Not that all politicians are going in a bad way. No. But what I am saying is that some politicians are trying to serve the nation through politics. Very good, welcome. But taking politics for selfish reasons, that will not rebuild India. So there are two ways now. Either, even if you want to join politics, there is no harm in that, but you must follow the values. The character should be upright. Then only you will be able to withstand the shocks of the politics, and you will be able to retain. It will be very difficult to retain, but there are few politicians who have been able to retain. It is not impossible, though very difficult in the present circumstances, but it is not impossible. So if you want, you can take that path, no problem. Second path that we have taken, take up service. Renounce all the enamoring thus power, position, name, fame, and try to serve with unselfishness. But other things will follow. The awards will follow. I know I can give you so many examples. For example, just recently, one person, one lady, Lata Ben Desai, got Padma Shri Award. She never cared for Padma Shri Award. In fact, she was told so many times to apply for it. I said, no, I am not going to apply. I am doing service for humanity. And she started service from 1980. She and her husband, Anil Bhai Desai, they both of them were working with a very high, good post in America, but they left that post. They came to India, started serving in the tribal area of Gujarat, Jagadia, and they started with the medical service. Both were doctors, so they started medical services. Now it's a huge thing. Seva Rural is a very big name. So they have got so many awards, Sasaka Award and Vivekananda Award, and now recently Rabin got Padma Shri. But she said she is not, she never cared for it. She is going on serving the people, serving the society. Awards may come follow. So you have to follow that model. You go on serving the society with renunciation. This renunciation as is you at your as a background, and go on serving. Then other things will follow. Of course, if you want to go for politics, I don't mind, but it will be very difficult if you can maintain that honesty, integrity, and you got that strong character, you can go and become a good politician also. No problem.
Second question, Maharaj Ji. How can a less paid worker motivate oneself in giving his or her best to the institution he or she is working, even though knowing that the employer could give more if he wanted so? Question, Maharaj.
Wonderful question. This must be by a teacher. So many teachers ask me this question, that you are talking about so many high things, this and that, and teachers are the torchbearers of change, but we are the least paid people and we are the least respected people, and you are talking that teachers are great and teachers will make India great. This is the thing. You see, actually speaking, if you ask me, teachers should not be paid. As in the olden times, teachers they were not paid, not at all. No, they are giving unselfish service. They were teaching. In fact, in our scriptures, to sell knowledge is considered a sin. You are selling knowledge. Transfer knowledge free of cost, unselfishly. But now that model is not possible. I understand. Because you have got your own family. Previously also they had families. The rishis, they had families. They had their ashramas. They did not charge. No. But whenever there was any problem, whenever there was any need, it is the students and their parents, they will fulfill all the needs. But nowadays the whole atmosphere is such that the students will not come to fulfill your needs. So naturally there has to be salary. So now the thing is that, supposing if you find that particular one employer is exploiting you by giving less salary and not giving more salary which he or which that institution can pay, then you leave the job, go to a better employer. Very easy. But the next employer may exploit you in some other way. This is what is happening. And teachers at the receiving end, I have full sympathy. What is the solution? Solution is change the society. How the society can be changed? Society cannot be changed by the present people, already polluted. So society will be changed by future enlightened citizens. Where are they? They are sitting in your class. So if you want to change the society, you have to have such leaders who are more interested in changing the society and changing the whole phenomena and the good things. These future leaders, IS officers, IPS officers, ministers, businessmen, they are all sitting in your class. Now it depends upon you. Do you want to have a paradigm shift? Do you think the present circumstances are good? Do you think the present situation of the nation is good, where the teachers are paid less, where the teachers are respected less? Do you think it is a good thing? No. If you want to change, There should be a paradigm shift. Who will bring about this paradigm shift? Not by the present leaders, I tell you. No, they are more interested in filling up their pockets. The paradigm shift can come only by the future leaders. If you can motivate them for character building, total personality development, and national building, and love for the nation, then only they will do that work. So, again, the solution is teachers will have to sacrifice. So, Swami Vivekananda wrote a beautiful letter, one of the most inspiring letters written by Swami Vivekananda to anybody. He writes to Sister Nivedita, "Awake, awake, great ones. The world is burning with misery. Can you sleep? Let us call and call till the sleeping gods awake. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice in the past has been the law. It will be alas for ages to come. The earth's best and bravest will have to sacrifice themselves for the good of humanity." This is what is required. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Getting less salary, still you go on giving. You are not working for the institution. You are working for the nation. You are working for the children who are sitting in your class. Sacrifice. Sacrifice in the past has been the law. It will be alas for ages to come. Do your work. Nishkam bhav, Nishkam karma. Do your Nishkam karma. Try to give your best, and not only give them the proper and the excellent education, but also giving them excellent values by following the values that yourself, integrity, honesty, character building, and all that. And you will find a great paradigm shift coming. But this will come only through teachers. Which are the type of teachers? For sacrificing, sacrificing, sacrificing. Such teachers only will bring about this paradigm shift.
The next question, Maharajji, is what is the advice of Thakur Ma Swamiji about Nishkama Karma?
Same what is given by Sri Krishna, Sri Ramakrishna, Sarada Devi, Swami Vivekananda also tell the same thing that is given by Sri Krishna. Sri Ramakrishna also says, you try to do your work in an unselfish manner. That is why he told. In fact, Swami Vivekananda went to the extent saying, unselfishness is more paying in the long run. Unfortunately, people do not have the passions to practice it. Unselfishness is more paying in the long run. You will find those who are doing unselfish service, these, as I told you, the awards will follow you, the rewards will follow you. You don't have to go after them. They will follow you because of the sheer law of karma, because of the sheer existence of the law of karma. So, try to do unselfish service, and you may or may not get money, you may or not get better package, you may or may not get power position, but what you will get is peace of mind, long-term happiness, long-term peace, long-term success. If you want it, then you have to go for Nishkam Karma.
Next question, Maharajji. Is jap more powerful than meditation?
Not more powerful. You see, japa and meditation, they are part of the spiritual practices, and you have to follow your instructions of your guru. If you have taken mantra diksha, if you have got initiation, then try to follow whatever your guru has told. But it is observed in general that japam is easier to be done than meditation. And when you do the japam for a long time, then your mind is prepared to go for meditation. That is why sometimes in the beginning, the disciples are advised to practice more of japam, less of meditation. Another thing is that our mind is not yet so pure that we can go for meditation for a longer time. So they are advised that you go for duration should be increased gradually. We have found some people, they go for meditation right in the beginning without giving any importance to japam. They go for meditation for hours together, ending up in a mental hospital. And sometimes they write to us, sometimes they come to us with this condition, become very difficult. So, but japam, if you do more, there is no danger. But if you do go for meditation without knowing the technical part of it, and without the proper preparation, because you must understand dhyana is only the 7th step. Yama, niyama, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and then samadhi. So yam and niyam, These are the two foundations. If you do not have strong foundation, if you jump into the 7th floor, naturally you are going to fall down into the mental hospital. So they want to awaken the Kundalini overnight. They want Samadhi overnight. They want everything. They want to become the modern youngsters. They want to become millionaires also overnight, and they want to become billionaire overnight. They want to have this Kundalini awakening also overnight. Everything overnight, one night. No, they don't do what hard work. Instant samadhi, instant coffee, instant samadhi, everything instant. And then if you don't get, then instant death, suicide. Just so everything instant. This has to be checked. So meditation is a 7th step. Yama, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Ahimsa. First of all, this should be practiced. Then Niyama, Shauch, Santosh, Tap, Swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidham. This should be practiced. When Yama, Niyama, strong foundation, then you go for Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, then some Dhyan, and then Samadhi. Now they want to go for Samadhi. They say we can't practice Satya. This is impractical. Satyameva Jayati is old mantra. Now Asatyameva Jayati is the real mantra. You should practice untruth if you want success in life. So you don't want to practice Satya, Asteya, not to do any stealing, but we don't do stealing, but of course we have a little bit of income tax, this and that. That is all. That is everybody is doing, no problem. So there's Satya not possible, Asteya not possible. Brahmacharya is the old idea. Aparigraha, not holding. We want to hold the whole of mall in our houses. We want more and more. So greed is increasing. So Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Ahimsa. Of course, Ahimsa we are following. We're not having any weapon with us. But of course, we have a AK-47 here in our mouth. And when we start speaking those words, the other person... he is so much enjoyed that for 10 years he remembers your words. So Ahimsa also not possible. Similarly, Niyam not possible. How can you have dhyana? That does not mean we should not have dhyana. We should try to practice, but we should gradually increase our time of meditation. But japa can be done by anybody. Even if you are, it is said that the repetition of the mantra, repetition of the name of God is so purifying that anybody can repeat that mantra. Whatever may be your present condition. If you are mentally very much disturbed, you can repeat mantra, but you should not do for meditation at that time. So that is why for the beginners, japa is given more importance. But that does not mean, but meditation is still higher condition, but we have to go gradually towards that. And the best thing, Swami Brahmanandaji Maharaj says in his book, The Eternal Companion, the best thing is to combine both japam and meditation. That brings quicker result and the better result.
One last question, Maharaj Ji.
Yeah.
Just. Yes, Maharaj Ji. The question is, can a Shudra becomes a Vaishya a Kshatriya, and a Kshatriya a Brahmin? This is the question, please.
You see, these all types of categorization is previously it was done guna karma vibhagashayo. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. It was a social thing. It is not a part of not an inbuilt part of the spirituality, but it was a part of a certain type of regulation of the society for which these 4 types of people are given. And as on today, what we find, these 4 types are already there, and it depends upon you to change over. For example, Brahmana. What is Brahmana? Brahmana who is more connected with learning process. So if you are a teacher, you are a Brahmana. Even if you are a Shudra, if you are teaching, you are a Brahmana. You are doing the work of a Brahmana. Then if you are a Brahmin, and still if you are in business, what you are doing the work of a Vaishya. So by guna, by karma, you are a Vaishya. Then supposing the Kshatriya, supposing if you are administrator of somewhere, even if you are Brahmin or if you are not even Kshatriya, but if you are in that post of a police officer or if an administrator where you have to use the weapons or you have to protect the people, then you are a Kshatriya. Then Shudra is one who is serving others. So the various types of services are there. So you can be in the service also. Suppose now what do we find? Many Brahmins are going for the training in nursing. You will find it is the work of a nurse. Nursing is the work of a Shudra. No. Now no more this categorization is there. That was there in the old condition because of that type of society. Now in the modern times, we have to see basically what is a Brahmana. Brahmana who is working, who is more connected with knowledge, who is more connected with learning. So you can always switch over from one to another. There is no problem about that.
One last question. So how do we get proper meditation, reading book or job? Any guidance, Maharajji? I'm not Dikshita. The question.
Okay. The first thing is that you should take Diksha. You will get the whole package. How to do Japam, how to do repeat the mantra, how to meditation and all that. Now that is one particular alternative, the best alternative. In the meanwhile, you can read a book. I'll tell you the name of the book is Meditation and its Methods by Swami Vivekananda. Beautiful book. Meditation and its Methods. A small book by Swami Vivekananda. Another book which is bigger one and gives the complete knowledge about meditation is Meditation and Spiritual Life by Swami Yatishwarananda. These two books will give you theoretical knowledge. Now afterwards you have to practice it. As it has been given in that book, you can start practicing a little, not much. But under personal guidance, if you practice, that will be better. Then I have given my videos are there in my YouTube. YouTube channels will be given here. YouTube channel is there. You can download my videos, Meditation for Excellence in Life. There are 3 videos where you will get why should we meditate, how should we meditate, and I had a practical session also on meditation in that. So you can follow my YouTube channel, and there are many hundreds of videos are available, but some videos are available on meditation. Particularly these 3, if you go through, you will get the basic knowledge. You start with that, and later on you try to have a personal guidance from a personal competent teacher and go for higher meditation or better meditation. You can, I think you must have got my YouTube channel and their website and all that. You can share with that one, with those people.
So Maharajji, that's all from the question section. So we have, yes, there is no more question.
I'm very happy. Very nice questions were there. I appreciate the students who have asked the questions. Very beautiful questions they have asked. And I give my prayerful best wishes. I convey my prayerful best wishes to all the students who are now watching this program. Please go through my YouTube channel and you will get many more programs and many question answer sessions also there. And in the website, you will get the articles. And if there is still more questions, then my email ID also given. You can write to me by mail. All these 3 are given in the chat box.
So Pujaniya Maharajji, we have a very exciting question answer session. A lot of things were discussed. and that you are light that enlightened us. And it is also very heartening that Pujaniya Maharaj Ji has a very special relation with Jamshedpur, people of this Jamshedpur, from which we all belong. So respectful pranam Maharaj Ji, and with your permission, should we conclude this session?
Sure, sure. Very, very much.
Respectful pranam once again, Maharaj Ji.
Okay, all the best.
Pranam Maharaj. Now I would request our study circle member Binay Banerjee to please present devotional song. Binay Banerjee, please.
जय योगीश्वर त्रिभुवन बंदन, जय योगीश्वर त्रिभुवन बंदन, भुवन जयी भुवनेश्वरी नंदन, भुवन जयी भुवनेश्वरी नंदन, जय योगीश्वर त्रिभुवन बंदन, भुवन जयी भुवनेश्वरी नंदन, ध्यान मग्न तुम परमयुदासी, ध्यान मग्न तुम परमयुदासी, नर ऋषि आए बन जगवासी, नर ऋषि आए बन जगवासी, कृपा समीरण ने उपजाया, कृपा समीरण ने उपजाया, ब्रह्म जलधि में लीला स्पंदना, जय योगीश्वर त्रिभुवन बंदन, जय योगीश्वर, जय योगीश्वर, जय योगीश्वर त्रिभुवन वंदना, वीर विवेकी अमित शक्तिधर, वीर विवेकी अमित शक्तिधर, तेज पुंज तनु कोमलयंतर, वीर विवेकी अमित शक्तिधर, तेज पुंज तनु कोमलयंतर, दयानिधे प्रभु लीला सहचर, दयानिधे प्रभु लीला सहचर, हरो नाथ भव माया बंधन, 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 जय योगीश्वर, जय योगीश्वर, जय योगीश्वर त्रिभुवन वंदना, जय योगीश्वर त्रिभुवन बंदन, त्रिभुवन बंधन, त्रिभुवन बंदन.
So we are all we are in the concluding session almost, and thanks to all our participants, revered Maharajis and lauded speakers. And now I would like to ask Samir Ghosh to please deliver the vote of thanks. Samir, please.
Okay, good evening to everyone, and thank you, Shivasista. I am glad and thanks to Revered Swami Nikhilesh Saranandaji Maharaj Secretary Ramakrishna Mission Ashram, Rajkot, for his speech on the ideology of Swami Vivekananda, and the speech was on the way to rebuilding India, and we are much grateful for him. And I am giving thanks to all other revered Swamiji Maharajji in our morning session, who was Swami Krishna Amritananda Ji Maharaj, Principal Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Vidyapit, Narayanpur, Chhattisgarh. His speech was Education in the National Line, Paravidya and Aparavidya. Similarly, in our past yesterday, lesson from Indian history delivered by Swami Atma Shraddhananda Ji Maharaj, Ramakrishna Mission Ashram, Kanpur. And on that day, means yesterday, Swami Vedaswarupananda Ji Maharaj, Ramakrishna Institute of Culture, Kolpark, Kolkata. His speech was Glories of India. In this way, causes of India's decline was, this speech was given by Swami Nandaji Maharaj from Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture, Kolkata. And we are much more grateful, and I am giving special thanks to our Secretary Maharaj from Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda Society, Jamshedpur, who has given the welcome speech in our first day seminar. And his inspiration brings us in this position. I am giving special thanks to him. And again, we are lucky and more, we are more lucky to get such Mahapurusha or such Maharaj who has inspired us by giving their speeches in different ways, and especially in our 2 days question answer session, our revered Swami Nikhilacharananda Ji Maharaj Ji has given very scientific and simple answer to all the questions to our questioners, and most probably it is very well understood to all of them. So I am giving special thanks to all the Maharaj again. And after that, I am giving a thanks to Sri, 1 minute, to Sri Shakti Prasad Mishra, the Center for Indological Studies and Research, Ramakrishna Institute of Culture, Kolkata. And I am giving thanks to all the teachers who has participated and giving us strength by giving their valuable speech to us. Among them, Sri Chandradeep Pandey, Headmaster, People's Academy High School; Teacher Mary Ann Priya, Teachers, People's Academy School; Dr. Manila, Acting Headmaster, UHS; and our more devotee members, Sri Sivasis Chakraborty, who is at present announcing and giving guideline to all of us, and Sri Nivedita Ghosh for their speech relating to the rebuilding India they are giving all the speech relating to rebuilding India. In this way, our program they have helped our program in different ways, like giving music, beautiful music by Jayanta Chakraborty, by Sri Vinoy Banerjee. I am giving the special thanks to those who have given much more pleasure and giving us a great pleasure during the program. And I am giving all the students who taken who has participated in this program. Among them, Sri Ranveer Chakkalia, Pori Kumari, and Sri Rahul Mahato. They are also a part of this program, and all other who have given their support, or who have given their overall support directly or indirectly to us, so that our program becomes successful. And again, I'll give the special thanks to all the participants, all the speakers, all Maharaj, for their support and inspiration to us, so that we can make such type of program again and again. And again, I will thanks to all the members who are not present here, or who have not participated here, but their support, they have extended their support to us, so that we make our program successful. In this way, again, I am giving the thanks to all participant members from in favor of in favor of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Society Study Circle, Jamshedpur. Thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you, Samita. Now we are to conclude our 2 days program with Purna Mantra.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु.
Thank you all. Thank you very much to all who have contributed in accomplishing the webinar successful, direct